So, Angel Reese super fans are a bit of an odd group. They're a bit of an odd group. And they were calling yesterday Caitlin Clark's greatest game. I've seen so many people in my comment section calling it the fakest game ever and that she should have been thrown out early in the game. I'll talk about that in this video. Before we get on to, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We are trying to hit 21 or 20.1k subscribers. We're 27 off. We're trying to hit that by the end of the day. That would be absolutely insane if we could do that. But the play was right here. The Caitlin Clark and Julie Vanloo. Caitlin Clark and Julie Vanloo. So if you did not see this entire game, the Atlanta Dream, or not the Atlanta Dream, the Washington Mystics, they were smart. They were flopping on everything on Caitlin Clark. Their goal was to get Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston fouled out. That was their goal. They're like, if we can get Caitlin Clark fouled out of this game, we're going to win. And then you've got Julie Vanloo, who I think is the most underrated player in this entire league. Like, I think, with especially what she's being paid this year, she's an unrestricted free agent who's getting paid 65 grand this year. If you can get her for 5 figures next year to replace Erica Wheeler, which gives you 100 grand to play with, to sign somebody else, especially if you lose Katie Lou. If you lose Katie Lou in the expansion draft and you replace Wheeler with Vanloo, then you've literally got you've got all that money to spend. And I think Vanloo, I'm going to talk about it in a free agent video later today. I think Vanloo is the perfect Mario Chalmers to LeBron James point guard because she can play at the one. She's good enough to play at the one, which means you can run Caitlin off the ball a little bit. She's good enough to take the ball up, but also she's good enough to play off the ball too. And she can shoot the ball really well. So, and she's smart. She's got more, she does less dumb things on the floor than a Erica Wheeler. I think Julie Vanloo would be the perfect backup point guard / let's put her on when Caitlin Clark's the 2 and she'll actually give Caitlin Clark the ball and not do what Erica Wheeler does and just go dribble. But you can see in this play right here. So this is what happened. The two of them are going at each other. This is the flop of the century right here. This is the flop of the century. She just no hand anywhere near her. She just throws her head back. The refs don't see anything. The two of them are getting into it. Caitlin Clark's mimicking mimicking stuff, and the two of them are just going at it. If you didn't see 2 possessions earlier, I need to find what happened. Sorry, the previous possession. There is she bear hugged Caitlin Clark. She had bear hugged Caitlin Clark 2 possessions earlier, and I think Caitlin Clark should have been teed up for this. By the way, I think it should have been a tee, but I think the referees just decided, you know what, we're just gonna let them play especially when it came to Clark. So you can see here, she got bear hugged the possession before trying to shake her. So she couldn't shake Julie Vanloo. And then obviously the two of them are getting into it. Julie Vanloo flopping, and then Caitlin Clark does push her. Caitlin Clark 100% pushes Julie Vanloo off that. And obviously the two of them getting into it. Caitlin Clark going at her for flopping. I think Caitlin Clark should have been teed up. But the fact that there are some crazies on the internet, and again, there are the Caitlin crazies, there are the Angel crazies. There are the two extremes. They are the crazies. And again, when I talk about the Caitlin crazies, I'm not talking about the outkicks of the world. They don't give a damn about basketball. They're just using Caitlin Clark to try push an agenda. So I'm not calling them the Caitlin crazies. The Caitlin crazies are the fanatics. The thing crazies. The Reese crazies are on this one. I made plenty of videos about the Caitlin crazies. This is about the Reese crazies. But yeah, so this is a situation where 2 players get into it on the basketball court, and it leads to the softest shove in history being treated like the flop of the century by Julie Vanloo. And look, Julie Vanloo, that's a vet move. We saw again later on in the game where Ariel Atkins, where Caitlin Clark catches the ball. She catches the ball with her shoulder already down. And Ariel Atkins, before she's even able to stand up, Ariel Atkins runs into her and just jumps on the ground. They were doing everything they could to get Caitlin Clark fouled out of this game. So, look, there are sometimes if you want to call it the dark arts. There are dark arts of basketball. James Harden was the best I've ever seen at dealing with the dark, or like using the dark arts on the offensive end. You've seen so many people, Draymond Green with some of these, and I don't care, like I'm not talking about the dirty plays, but the moving screens, you'll see the vet moves. You'll see the vet moves. There are some times you will see players being able to pin people's arms in certain ways, not to hurt them, but like that they just can't do anything with it. You're seeing the amount of people that get away with their hook because they're doing it kind of with their elbow rather than their whole arm, getting away with hooking. Like a lot of the game of basketball is about knowing what the referees are going to give, what they aren't. And I thought the referees, especially with Caitlin, I thought a lot of times they did an okay job because they were allowing her to get mauled. They were also allowing her to push off. And I really don't mind that when it comes to refereeing. It's like I think that if you are allowing the defense, just like if you saw the OKC versus Mavs series, where Lou Dort is basically guarding Luka Doncic like it's rugby. But at the same time, they're allowing Luka to armbar off. They're allowing Luka to get hit, but they're allowing Luka push off, which is why Caitlin Clark got away with a bunch of push-offs. They're allowing Julie Vanloo bear hugger. They're allowing Julie Vanloo to be physical, but they're allowing the same physicality from the offense to get free. I don't mind if you allow overly physical defense, you have to allow overly physical offense to separate themselves from the overly physical defense. And in a lot of situations, they did that. And a lot of situations, the refs kind of did that. I thought the refs called some weird stuff on Leah Boston. I thought they called some very, very weird stuff on Leah Boston in that game. But I don't mind that. But either way, Caitlin Clark should have been thrown out of the game for that push. And people are comparing that to the Kennedy Carter thing. Two players kind of getting into each other and somebody just two hands that in someone's face. Two people are getting into it with each other physically and someone just kind of gets the other person off. It's very different than you B-word coming from behind and I'm creaming her at the side. She can't even see it. They're not even the same things. They're not even remotely close to being the same things. Kennedy Carter should have been a flagrant 2. For anyone saying it should have been a 5-game suspension, that's ridiculous. No, flagrant 2. I do think Caitlin Clark should have been teed up. I think she should have been teed up. I think it was early enough in the game that you're okay, we've probably let this go on a little bit too much. That we probably let a little bit too much physicality go. Maybe even double tee. Maybe even just double tee them. Tee up Vanloo for the flop. Tee up Caitlin Clark for the subsequent push. Or call nothing. I don't hate the no call. I don't hate the no call either. But saying that is even remotely similar to the Kennedy Carter situation, or even the Alyssa Thomas situation. I do have to bring that up as well. But the reason why the Alyssa Thomas situation doesn't get as much isn't talked as much publicly is that the referees dealt with it correctly. They kicked her out of the game. She should have been suspended. The Alyssa Thomas situation was way worse than the Kennedy Carter, but the referees didn't call a common foul. That's where the problem is. The referees called a common foul there. But yeah, that was a mad thing looking at Twitter, looking at my comment section, seeing so many people saying Caitlin Clark, it was a fake game because she should have been thrown out. Man, the Reese crazies, just keep going. Keep going. Sports is more fun when the delusional fanatics or delusional fans on each side are delusional. Sport is more fun when it's delusional. As long as it doesn't get personal, as long as it doesn't go cross a line, which it 1,000,000% has crossed the line in a lot of situations. This situation wasn't specifically one that crossed the line, but obviously we know it's crossed the line in a lot of situations. But at the end of the day, delusional fans, as long as it doesn't cross the line, can be fun.